You're not about discipline. And then Crawford started will pay for one day. Not that when you there, it could be born in that.
About discipline.
I mean, this is a very fantastic. So I'm so grateful.
Thank you. So that is one Ghana. So irrespective of where you come from, these are some of the things exactly.
We can move this nation forward.
Exactly. And for me to sing this song, you don't even have to ask where does she come from.
Yeah,
I'm a Ghanaian.
She's a Ghanaian.
Yes, I'm a Ghanaian. And we must all, endeavor to learn this, especially the words, and then understand. Yes, understand.
Yeah, because sometimes the songs, that's it. I mean, these are songs that resonate with us, and that brings.
Omani ya woman, Omani ya man, yenyi baby ako, nyami chaza mayensa karenyi. Wonsomu wonyinyipa ewazipa wofioye yemo yembireye o sobeye ya ofienara wonsomu wonyinyipa o awanya hwanabeye yemo yembireye o sobeye ya ofienara. We used this song last year.
Oh, okay.
And so we have added it to that. Next year, inshallah, we'll add another, and we have 3 songs. Yes.
You know, the Ghana we desire will not be built by government alone. It will be built by citizens who choose integrity over corruption, service over self-interest, unity over division, and gratitude over entitlement. The national transformation begins when individuals decide to live on the values they wish to see in their nation. I want to say a very big thank you to Hajia Hanatu Abubakar, a committee member, National Day of Prayer and Thanksgiving, a member of the Muslim Subcommittee on the Initiative, and also Media and Publicity Committee member. Hajia, MBN1, thank you. We are grateful for having you to grace our studios today.
And you have a beautiful studio.
Thank you so much.
You have a beautiful studio. I'm so impressed.
Thank you.
Yes, I'm so impressed and happy we are meeting again. Yes.
Right.
After our last interview somewhere.
Yes. But it's good to have you.
Thank you.
It's always an honor to sit with you to have conversations of this nature about nation and then how we want to position this country, which God has given us. I keep telling people, we sit on the sea. Our west, our east is bordered by French-speaking countries. Yeah, it makes it quite interesting. Yes. And all those people are looking out to us, Africans looking out to us. So we need to live with that integrity.
Thank you so much, El. I would like to thank once again His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, the President of the Republic of Ghana. Honorable Elvis Efri Yankra. He's doing so well. He's doing a yeoman's job with this committee.
I wish I could get him to talk with him here.
He will. Why not? Why not?
So I can talk to.
Why not? He has chaired this committee, who also chairs the Muslim subcommittee, Alhaji Yusuf Quaino, and all chairman of subcommittees and the entire committee members of NDPT. I say a very good morning to you all. I will mention Mr. Kwesi Taylor. I will mention Auntie Jifa Ashinyo, Gloria Jifa Ashinyo. That's how she will pronounce her name. If you go around Greater Accra, you will see billboards for the National Day of Prayer and Thanksgiving. And Auntie Jifa Ashinyo is doing a very great job. The billboards are scattered all over Accra, many locations, Bon Katamanso, Free Zones Entrance, in Tema, everywhere. Everywhere, the airport, opposite the Flagstaff House. So Ghanaians, when you see the billboards, know that, yes, on Wednesday, 1st July 2026, we're expecting.
I mean, it's refreshing to hear that a lot of people are paying their dues and are supporting this wealthy cause. We all need to be part of it. 1st of July, clock it. I always say clock it. Make it set it as an alarm. 8 a.m. all seated by 7 a.m. Then 11 a.m. all seated, we go to the Muslim prayer as well. So on that day, there is no Muslim, there's no Christian. We all go and we all come. We do it together. We all go to the forecourts. And when we finish, we all go to the Muslim mosque, the national mosque, to go and pray. Setting a day aside for prayer and thanksgiving is important because it gives individuals and also the community the opportunity to pause and reflect and also express gratitude for life blessings while seeking wisdom and guidance for the future. Once again, thank you so much, Ajia, for joining us. On this note, we go for a quick break, reminding ourselves that the date is 1st July 2026, Wednesday. Go out in our numbers to support a wealthy cause. God bless you.
Ghana, a nation built on the blood and toil of our forefathers. We have come this far through faith and unity. Now is the time to pause, give thanks, seek the face of God, and renew our commitment to the future of it. By 11:30 a.m., it's time to renew our minds and build the beautiful Ghana we all desire. Come, let's stand together in faith, united for Ghana, the National Day of Prayer and Thanksgiving, resetting our values to build the Ghana.
Welcome back into the studios. You're still live from our studios in the 10th Avenue Extension, Great Extension at Dogono. This is NBN TV. We just had Abubakar, a committee member of the National Prayer Day and Thanksgiving, and a Muslim committee member, and also the Media and Publicity Committee member, talking to us, throwing more light on the program this morning. We're trying to connect with a human rights lawyer, but once we get him, we'll have that conversation. But in between time and now, you can also give us a call, 053 715-8638, 053 715-8638. Share your thoughts on any of the conversation we asked. We had a conversation with engineer Dr. George Edufu earlier, and then we had a sit-in with Hajia Hanatu Abubakar, also in the studio this morning. So you can also share yours with us, and then what do you make of the conversations we have so far on 053 715-8638, 053 715-8638 is the numbers you can also be to me at show adwumadwin trefa nkomotwetwe ayenya ene anope akọ yene Dr. Engineer Dr. George Edufu di nkomo about lightning tendering ne niama awose ye hye no nso yo twa tendering ne niama afem no niama ben ena awose ye hwe kwan a awose ye ene anope also owo oti enka bibia o picking from no also be to me. I share your thoughts with us. I was 0537. And now say, send me a message. It's 0537158638. I numbers that will be to me and the attrition in common a year and anopay 80. Mr. Oting Foster Oting Ebedrene and Chibia. Na yenne na atwetwe nkomo ewo why it's important. I mean, the importance of, for instance, understanding the difference between a need and a want. Understanding the difference between a need and a want. And no common anki epesi and the treatment and the anopay. Understanding the need, the difference between needs and wants, and not any idea. But yensakana yenene bedisa and komono. Yensakana yenene bedisa and komono on 0537158638. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you, boss?
I am blessed, and you?
By His grace, I'm fine. Sorry for the late topic sharing, which has to do, but I know you being an expert would definitely take us through to the next level when it comes to our financial 101, where we've been looking at how do we impact our generation, how do we impact the Ghanaian people, and then how do we make a difference to the nation building. And then we look at so the topic is understanding the difference between needs and also wants. Understanding the difference between needs and want is what we have slated for today. So when we talk about needs, what are we talking about? When we talk about want, what are we talking about? These are the areas we want to have the conversation with you today. Once again, we want to apologize for not coming in early with you because of we have some other few conversations earlier on. So we know that in today's world of social media, influences, changing lifestyle, many people struggle to distinguish between what they truly need and what they truly want. Understanding the difference is a key part of financial literacy and also responsible decision making. So many people work but still struggle financially because they spend money on things they don't want before. What is the difference between a need and a want, being a financial expert?
Thank you very much for the opportunity this morning once again. Like we've always been discussing, financial literacy is key. And many people are facing financial challenges. They are facing difficulties in life. Things are not going the way they expect it to be. They are not achieving what will bring them the needed self-actualization or the self-need. All because they are not able to prioritize the difference between their needs and then their wants. Basically, when we talk about needs, when you compare the two, in terms of importance of it, in terms of what is actually will help you, needs are things that, let me say in a simple term, they are very, very much important to our survival, without which our survival becomes a challenge. And that is what we term it as a need. So basically, needs are the very much important things that will keep our survival. These are then the needs of a person. That's why we say the needs are necessary in terms of its value to us than the wants. So we actually want to mean that there are certain things that we cannot do away with. That becomes our needs. And the needs differ from persons to persons. Needs differ from individual to individual based on what you stand for, based on what you are doing, based on the priorities of things in life. So the basic needs that everybody needs in this world is to get food to eat food. So anytime you are prioritizing your budget, anytime you are doing something, you first ask yourself that what are the basic things that will keep me? What are the basic things that will keep my family moving? These are food. And even in the food, so some of the food are needs, some of the food are wants. For instance, the food, the breakfast, the lunch, the supper that you provide, we can say they are needs. But something like the ice creams that you buy, some of those other things that are not all that necessarily, you can tell me to be want. So whenever you are planning your activities, the very much important things, these are the needs of an individual. The shelter, you need to get a place to put to sleep. So all this shelter you need, all these things are also classified as our needs. God has blessed with some of the needs, we don't struggle with it. You need air, we don't. But the food includes the water, the shelter where we put our health. These are the basic needs that we actually have to look at it. Again, some of the needs may be wants to others. For instance, if you are a businessman, you need a truck to help you do your businesses. In terms of the business system, you need a truck. The truck will play a very key role in the successes of the businesses. Sometimes you have to send the businesses product to places. You need a truck to go with it. So the truck that you need it for the businesses is a need. But somebody who is also not doing the businesses doesn't need a vehicle at that time. So it depends on the individual's work that the person is doing that determine the need. We can say wants are mostly the things that supplements our needs. They are not all that important, but they are things that also help us to live better. They are things that help us to enjoy the self-actualization that each and individual wants to have. For instance, somebody may have a car that is doing a business with, but want to also go for another car to put himself in a certain class. So wants are basically things that place us in a class that we aspire to be, and not necessarily the things that will actually keep us, or the very much important thing that we need. But for us to be financially prudent, for us to be financially advantageous, we have to first of all prioritize the needs. And then when we mean that the very much important thing that will keep your survival, the very much important things that will keep your businesses moving, the very much important thing that will keep your financial strength to be very strong are what we term as the needs. But the wants are what will complement and what will give us the lifestyle we want to be. But without those things, that may not have much impact in our financial beings. These are the ones. We will always ask people that let us prioritize more on the needs than the wants. When we prioritize more on the needs, we'll make our financial stand very strong. And the moment you have a very strong financial stand, then you can give more priorities to your wants, since financially you are very strong and things are better financially for you. Thank you.
So more or less, individuals must understand the difference between the wants and the needs. And when we improve on this wants and the needs, would that help in our financial management?
Yes. When we improve upon it, obviously we are going to have impact on our finances. For instance, I have money, and the money I have is 100,000 Ghana cedis. The 100,000 Ghana cedis, I'm a businessman, so I also need a private car for my luxury. But I could also invest that 100,000 in the business, and then it will give me the results that I want. So it will tell you that because of the business needs, invest much of it into the business needs. And when you invest it, the business profit will later, when things are better, you can get more to go in for the want, which is the expensive or the luxury private car you actually envisage to get. So when you invest more in your need, it will going forward make life easier for you to also be able to give a consideration to the ones that you want.
But how can individuals avoid impulse buying and unnecessary
of poor planning, which will make you concentrated more on your wants than your need? So properly, for us as business people, for us as individual, we must stop the attitude of impulse buying. We must make it a conscious effort that whatever I am buying as a result of what I have planned the money to do with. And the attitude of impulse buying, we could say it is one of the factors leading to financial challenges that we are facing. If you don't stop impulse buying, we'll continue to struggle in our finances. So we must make it a conscious effort that no, we have to plan whatever resources that comes our way. You see, I've always made a statement, and last week we discussed that money is something that when you don't use it well, it vanishes. And impulse buying is one of the ways that we don't use money well. And lack of planning in the usage of money is a clear indication that the possibility that you are going to lose the money is greater. So impulse buying is an attitude that in terms of financial discussion you must form on. And whoever is listening to me that you want to buy, don't buy it. Go home, sit there, sleep overnight, think about it, and ask yourself that whether it is prudent to buy that thing at that moment. If it is, then you have to go on and do the purchase of that item you want to buy.
Well, but before I'll let you do the summary in tree, is it about time for parents to begin to teach children the difference between the needs and the wants? Is it about time we do that?
Yes, the issue is that the parents themselves need to, first of all, understand the difference between the needs and then the wants. And then parents themselves need to even understand the financial literacy aspect of it, so that they can actually translate it to their children, who are doing the essence of proper planning, the essence of giving priorities to their needs than the one. And all these things, the education must go on at all levels, be it at the workplace, be it at institutional level, be it at the union level. How often do you see this? Our unions, Health Service Workers Union, we have the TEU, Teachers and Educational Workers Union, the NAGRAT, the NAT, the GAWU, the PULC, and all these unions must also actually just have time to discuss more about these needs and then the one, where we prioritize our needs at the expense of our wants. So the education is very key, and the education must be done at all levels of our spheres of life.
Quite interesting. If you could do me that favor in a minute, sum this in a tree before you take leave of us.
So, Abushafu Amutimi Anopai or NBN TV. So, Anopai, yeah, me pesa me kanyina ni se. Now no ye kasa ye kaya na ye si munye sike bia ye won niema miensa a ohwe. Ni di kan eye unit. Ana ne tosu yinu eye one. Ye kasa leader. Anema ekufia ye papa wa asetra mu no eye need. Ana want no eye niema enusu hia na emu ehu hia kese ti se needs no. Ye mfa ne se ade a chia no pa. Ye na wuhia so hia aduani di. Enti wuntimi ntrase beye na daba ku dabi na menti ade hia wo kese a eye waduani a obenya adi ene ye need. Enti sa wonfa ne se bia ade a chinku a obesra ene aduani a obedi ni nyene de hi ne hia. Aduani a obedi ni hu hia asi enku a obesra no. Enti wo de sa niema mienu toto ho a aduane no mfa so wo so ese enku na obesra no. Enti aduane no eye niema ehia pa boto ka ebe ka se wuni ena enku a obesra. Enti ehia se wo ma ye nikọ niema ehia ye papa ebia obi ye business na wo ye no obi hia car so de be ye ne runs ranti onu nya sika no akoto car na wato no na car na ebe abebua ma ne business na akoso niema bi so ye delivery go tim de car ne emu wo dia ye no hia car As we so be a kotoka also lousy life waka kotoka. Most on the business and yan faso as all can now cotton a fashion. Unyan faso be also and more good returns also. It in ever say a chain in an say. Nipa bebre air quite to be a mu a year ba who a year tariba kum you know, and so a year bentinity and a copama a year tire for and antaribe brain a ya pump sa dear guadakamu and faso be so. And in a year once. If you see my watching ko adia ehie ye papa adia ehie ye ne ne odi sika ne ye ne ma edi sinsanso papa bebrɛw unye sika invest it unye sika save unye sika fa ye adwuma bi a eno so de mfaso bebrɛw ene ye need eno na ye ma ya adwene nko so kese ensense ye nya sika ye ma ye atoto basa ene ne ma hu so minia ye we timi so mi ye we ya ye we mi so mi ye we no eno ne de ye want eno no moa ye emma yesika sam entimi nyina nti ye pa asetre mu pa ye pa hoto ye pa ni dia ene sika na ba be so wonsa no na no last week me tire bi say ika ya de bi a wo hwe su yi a eche wo ho wan hwe su yi a eno so enche enti se usika no wan hwe su yi a na che se wo focus your want no so enti sika no be hye nemo so hwe su yi na de focus on wo need ni dia enye sika no be wo e di amount enti sika bi a wo anya bia no ne wo de ye no in protocol say your friend proper financial management enye se wo ma unya sika na wo yuyi no anyhow there be can sika no
Mwako, a tax expert, a need sustains life, but a want enhances it. Wisdom lies not in eliminating want, but ensuring they never take priority over needs. So understanding the difference between needs and want is more than a financial lesson. It is a life skill. When we learn to prioritize what truly matters, we make better decisions, reduce financial stress, and create a stronger foundation for a future and a fulfilling future. Well, we'll be turning our attention to be talking to a human rights lawyer in the person of a William Nyakon, trying to find out. The issue over the weekend has been Thomas Partey not granting entry into Canada for Ghana as a game. Few issues highlight this tension more than high-profile legal cases involving players who are still active on the top-level competitions. The case involving Ghanaian midfielder Thomas Partey raises important questions that go beyond the individual and touches on the fundamental principles such as presumption of innocence and national sovereignty in legal process. And the broader implications for global tournaments like FIFA World Cup. At the heart of the debate is a critical legal and ethical principle. The individual is considered innocent until proven guilty in a competent court of jurisdiction. However, in the age of instant media coverage and social media scrutiny, public judgment often precedes legal determination, especially when the individual involved is a prominent athlete. The situation becomes even more complex when the international sporting bodies and national institutions and global-based fans are all reacting. On the line is the man who is a human rights lawyer, the executive director of ASILA, William Nyakon, on the line to speak with us on this matter as the Thomas Partey case, presumption of innocence, sovereignty, and the World Cup. Good morning, Celia.
Good morning, my Santa Clausian brother.
How are you doing, sir?
Yes, pretty good. Doing well.
Well, we know that the issue that has to do with the party, the offenses that's been charged, rape and sexual assault, which party has denied. On the basis of that, because he has not been convicted, Canada shouldn't use that. That is very correct in using a criminal law standard. Because what criminal law does is that it is very protective of rights. So you will not put in prison until you have gone through the rule of law, due process, and then they have. So criminal law is protective of rights.
But that's a different matter when it comes to immigration law. Immigration law is risk averse. That you want to come to somebody's country, they are not going to wait for a court to decide your case before they take a decision as to whether they should allow you into the country. So immigration law uses a lower threshold. And in Canada's case, that is reasonableness, that they decided that Partey has a case, he is standing trial, he has not been proven guilty yet, but they look at their law and then decide that the mere fact that he is standing trial, they can use that to make a decision as to whether to allow him in. The second thing is that if you have a mirror image, if you look at Ghana's own laws, immigration laws, so Immigration Act 2000, Act 573, and Immigration Regulations 2001, LI 1691, the minister, through the immigration officials in Ghana, can refuse entry to a person based on your presence being contrary to the public interest, that you might be a threat to public order, public safety, or national security. So even under Ghana's own laws, we have the equivalence of Canada, of what Canada does. So given Canada's laws, and given the circumstances under which things that Partey is facing, the kind of results that you're having is what you are going to have.
Interesting. So it means that where we find ourselves is going to be quite difficult. But what should a player under investigation be allowed to represent their national teams in a major tournament like the World Cup? But there are some there are courtesies that has called that we shouldn't have selected him. Do you agree or disagree with that?
Say it again.
I mean, there's some argument that says that we shouldn't have added him to the squad.
Well, I mean, this was, first of all, I think it was okay that he was added to the squad.
Okay.
Because the matches are played not only in Canada, but also in Mexico and also the U.S. And as you know, the U.S. has given him a visa.
Yeah.
It tells you that every country has its own immigration regime. You see, even in the U.S., in Ghana, when you want to get a visa, apply for a U.S. visa, watch the form you fill out, interview at the visa. The visa officer will look at the totality of your case and then make a determination. So Partey was allowed into the U.S. And so you see the different ways in which sovereign states apply their law. But also, even when you have been denied a visa, especially, for example, in Partey's case, there is always a section of the law that is cited to let you know why you were denied. And once you know the grounds on which you were denied, you can also do an appeal, ask for a waiver. So Thomas Partey's case is not closed yet. It is possible that he could still be allowed in by the by the Canadian authorities if Ghana continues to use diplomatic channels. And I have read and heard that the Foreign Affairs Ministry said that they will take all action, including legal action. They should stop that. We are not going to get anywhere. First of all, Thomas Partey as an individual is the person that can bring an action. He is not in Canada. He doesn't even have the opportunity for that. He could still be outside of Canada, and a lawyer in Canada can can bring an action. But to have one country hosting it, the visa regime, the entry and entrance regime, they are all regulated, and you can have some uniform. But when you have 3 countries hosting, the World Cup, for example, there are different regimes that can be applied. At the end of the day, it is the sovereign country that ultimately decides who they let in. So even in the Thomas Partey case, let's all be clear that none of the other players have faced this problem. Right? It is only Partey because of what is going on in his own personal life, which tends to affect this. There's the argument that, well, when you have the FIFA World Cup or even the Olympic Games and all of that, FIFA should step up and guarantee that everybody who is supposed to participate will be given a visa. But that's the balance that you need to strike between that kind of position and a state's ability to regulate who comes into their country, because ultimately it is the state that has to decide. People may be coming in where they may pose national security concerns to a state. Countries can use all manner of people to be part of the delegation who may have, so these are really very situations that you must consider. That's why FIFA, for example, even though it may back players, ultimately it has to leave it to the states to decide who to let in. But a lot of deference is given to, the players and the team that will be participating in the games. FIFA backs them and all of that. But ultimately, it will come down to the state deciding on an individual case and deciding that this person or these other people allowing them in will be contrary to their national security interest or public order interest, which is what you are having in the Thomas Partey case.
Well, so it means that football governing bodies balance legal due process with the integrity of the competition, but every state has its own laws.
I'm so sorry, you said that again. I didn't hear.
I'm saying that looking at the football governing bodies, balancing legal due process with integrity of the competition, it means that leaving it in the hands of the host nation, they decide who comes in and who doesn't come in.
Yes, that is the case. But like I'm saying, this is not limited to only FIFA. I mean, like the Olympic Games, for example.
Yeah.
That's also an international, world event, and people have to go into countries. The rule is that allow the people participating in the games in. That's the standard rule, But you have just a minority of cases where, depending on the circumstances, a country may decide. Now, you want to take a look at some of the common law jurisdictions, for example. So Canada is a common law jurisdiction, the UK, New Zealand, Australia. You see that common law jurisdictions tend to apply very strict character-based requirements. So remember that Djokovic, Australia, denied him entry at some point.
Sure.
Djokovic is a star, right? But he was refused. He appealed. The appeal court, federal court, overturned the minister's decision, and then he was denied again in just about a week, and subsequently deported. So it's not just UK, for example, also has this character-based happening. They would apply, in minority cases, may refuse an athlete or a footballer